Alright guys, so I know I made a video going over Terry Bogard and Iori Yagami on my last video. I went over them. They look okay. I don't think that they're going to be crazy. Potentially. This is all on paper. We don't know yet. We don't know until they get showcased from YouTubers and whatnot. But for now, I'm gonna say that they look decent. I definitely think they could have done better with these two units, but they could have been a lot worse at the same time. So I think that, you know, for what it's worth, it's not terrible, but I don't know. I was expecting more. I don't know. I was expecting more, right? I just was. But this is the banner. Like, this is the collab banner. So the two new units will be rated up by a 0.5%, which is really good. And then the rest of the units on here is at a 0.14%. So yeah, keep that in mind. You also have the old KoF units on here as well, along with some filler SSRs on the banner. Prince Sigurd is on the banner. This is good because for those like myself who did not summon on his banner, I don't have him, so I definitely probably will be putting a few summons into this banner. I don't know how much. I guess I'll see. Like, I'll wait and see to you know, for the videos on these two units to see how good they can be, but I'm not really expecting them to pop off. Maybe with their best situation and their best team, they're gonna look absolutely fantastic, but I don't think that they're gonna be crazy. Like, I just don't. Most of the time they might just be good units, but I don't think they're gonna be too insane. But the fact that the old KoF units are on here is a really big W. Really big W. But like I said, Sigurd is on this banner, which honestly kind of makes it a really good banner because you got all, what is this, 6? Yeah, it's 6 units. So 6 KoF units, all 6 KoF units, right? Then you got Sigurd. You also have Tarmiel. If they would have had put Sario on the banner, it would have even better. Keep that in mind. It would have been even like better. But you know, Tarmiel, Red Jericho, Green Escanor. I believe this is Red King or Green King. I cannot remember. I think this might be. I think this actually might be Green King. I think this is Green King. I think Infinity Great Mage Merlin is the blue one. I think so. And then you have obviously the Ten Commandments, Zeldris, Droll, and Fraudrin. Don't know why they put Fraudrin on the banner, but okay. And Thonar. So overall, it's not the worst banner, but it definitely, you know, if you want to skip it, I wouldn't blame you. I personally don't think anybody should skip this. I don't think that you should. I think you should go a full rotation because if you can manage to pull, if you don't have the old KoF units, Kyo is absolutely fantastic. Rugal is still a really good unit. Athena and Mai, they are good, but I don't think you will use them as much as you might use Kyo and maybe even Rugal, right? But you definitely want to pull the new units, obviously. So if you get to the 600, you get to choose between the two new collab units. So keep that in mind, right? You get to choose between Terry and Yagami. So that's going to be really big. And then also, obviously, like I said, the old KoF units are on the banner. Then you have Tarmiel, who was a really good unit. Jericho, which is, you know, she's good. And then you got Green Escanor, still, you know, a nice unit. King, Merlin, and then, you know, the Green Droll is good. Green Droll is good. Blue Zeldris sucks. Green Fraudrin sucks. And Thonar is only useful, literally only useful for Belmont. And then Sigurd's good. So overall, it's a nice banner. Like, it is a nice banner. So if you want to dump 600 stones into it, nobody will blame you. It is a very, you know, I would say good banner. Yeah, like I said, I say it's a very good banner, so keep that in mind. But here are the rates. New units are 0.5, like I said, and then the old units are 0.14%, along with the rest of the general pool SSRs. But we go up to Iori, right? So Iori is a unit I wanted to talk about. I didn't get to talk about him in depth on my previous video, but he is a unit that I wanted to talk about because Iori is very situational. He looks like he is going to be run with Kyo 90% of the time. It just seems like Iori was made to tag team with Kyo, and that would make sense because that's how the game works, right? Iori and Kyo are two of the, you know, main characters of the game, and you know, they are the face of the franchise. So him working with Kyo isn't a bad thing. I just kind of wish that they didn't make him so codependent on Kyo, right? I wish they would have made him a little bit more unique in the fact that he does use darkness. So I kind of wish that they would have made him more unique in that sense, but it is what it is. But yeah, like I said, he is very, very codependent on Kyo because of the fact that his passive skill has two parts. So the first part is for each ignite on the enemy, he will increase the damage dealt by 7% when he uses a skill. So that is good, right? That is actually really, really good because, as you know, Kyo with his passive alone puts the maximum of 6 ignites on an enemy, which is really strong for him because he will actually be able to get an additional 42% of damage dealt increase. If I'm doing math right, that should be what it is, an additional 42% damage dealt, because you got 6 ignites, then he uses a skill, and then he'll deal extra damage. Keep in mind that the ignites itself do an extra 10% damage. Yeah, so that's really, really strong, right? So we go over to the the status effects and whatever it's called. We go here, let's see, skill filter, useful information, status effects. We go here, and then we go to the ignite. So ignite, like I said, ignite is a debuff that will, where is it at? Should be here. Okay, here it is. So increases damage taken by 10%, and it is stackable. So if you guys didn't know, there you go. I don't think he's gonna do bad at all with Kyo. I think he's gonna look like a very, very strong unit. He might potentially look like one of the best PvP units in the game with Kyo as a partner. But the fact of the matter is, he's really relying on Kyo because of this part of his passive, and then this is big, cold destruction. So you guys know Kyo obviously has the same skill, but what Kyo has over Iori, Kyo inflicts all enemies with ignites passively. So this cold destruction is going to look better on Kyo than it will Iori. Just point blank, period, right? Just that's it. That's the end of the discussion. It just is. But then he also has the second part of his passive, which is good. After the skill use, increases the hero's attack related stats by 6% for 5 turns, and it stacks to 5 times. So you can get a maximum of 30% to his attack related stats, which is amazing, really good. So you got this working with this with Kyo. Come on now, that's disgusting. Like, that's really strong. Keep in mind, he also has infect, so you can infect as well because his whole passive is going to still count for the infect. So even though it only is a 280% multiplier on the rank 3, it's going to realistically be stronger than this because his passive is very good for when he has ignites on the enemy, and he's just increasing his attack related stats in general. So he's gonna look good. I mean, he's gonna look good with Kyo regardless. Don't know how he's gonna perform with other units like Bond, because you can run him with Bond, but I don't think he's gonna do that great. He could be ran with maybe like Margaret, Gother, Zeldris, units like that help him out in terms of debuffs and buffing up his own attack. So we'll see. We'll definitely see what the team's content creators build with him are looking like. And then Terry, honestly, there's not too much to say about Terry. He's kind of basic in the way he works. He's just really like a fighter. Like, I don't know how else to put it. He's a fighter, right? He has a depletion card, alt depletion card. He has a stance, which is good, by the way. His stance is really strong because he increases damage dealt by 50%, and then he inflicts damage equal to 450% of attack whenever he or an ally is attacked. So very strong. And then his ultimate is an AoE power strike, first power strike AoE move I believe in the game. So very basic, but kind of good, kind of not. I don't know. We'll have to see. He doesn't really strike me as that technical. I mean, his passive is kind of dumb, not gonna lie. I don't really like it that much. The more I look at it, the more I'm not really that big of a fan. But it can work, I guess, right? It can work against Bond if you're fighting him, because if you're fighting a Bond team, come on, he's gonna have the highest remaining HP regardless. And then he reduces stats by 20%. for whoever has the highest remaining HP, which is going to be Bond. So I don't know how he's going to perform, but you know, he might be good, he might not. You know, it remains to be seen. But Iori definitely probably is going to be ended up being one of those characters where if you don't have Kyo or someone to, I don't know, buff up his damage with debuffs, he's not going to look that good. He's just not. So unfortunately, it is what it is. And also, I'm gonna end it after this. I just wanted to go over really the banner, talk about the units a little bit more, and then the holy relics. So the collab characters are getting holy relics or collab relics, whatever you want to call them, and you don't need to farm the demonic beast or the big bird, right? You don't need to farm them. You just, I believe you need to do final boss Rugal to get the, yeah, I think you need to do final boss Rugal to get the material, and that's it. So as long as you're grinding that, you should be able to get these relics pretty easily. I don't want to call them free to play, because it's not really that it's not, you know, like holy relics aren't free to play normally. This is just a lot easier, like almost 100% easier to grind than the you know, conventional holy relics, right? So these are all of the relics that they have. I believe out of everybody, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think out of everyone, Rugal has the best. I think Rugal might actually have the best out of them all. Terry's is nice, but I don't know if it's really going to make too much of a difference for him, because what he does is when he uses a stance skill, he removes all debuffs and increases all stats for himself by 20% for 2 turns. But we don't know what his substats or his regular stats look like. I'm assuming they're going to be fantastic. Not the substats, but his basic stats are going to be good because of the fact he's a new unit. So I'm assuming that's what it's going to be. Then we have Iori. For each ignite on the enemy, again, his holy relic relies on ignites. So there you go. For each ignite on the enemy, decreases the enemy's pierce rate, crit chance, and crit damage by 2%. I hate this. I get it, right? It's, you know, it's a farmable holy relic, but 2%. They could have made this 4. They literally could have made it 4, because like I said, Kyo with his passive alone grants 6 ignites at max. Then you use the ult, it gets 8, which I mean, I guess, you know, is good. I don't know, this is probably like the worst, honestly, out of them all. Like, not only does it rely on Kyo, but it just is not that great. It is just not. Then Kyo at the start of ally's turn inflicts 2 ignites on 1 random enemy for 1 turn. This also isn't really that good, I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't say anything about excluding deathmatch, but I don't know how that's gonna work, because Kyo's regular passive doesn't work in deathmatch. So I don't know, like, how this is gonna work, because you can use his holy relic, but you can't use his passive. Like, what? See, it excludes deathmatch. Well, makes no sense. I don't know, it makes no sense. Athena, when the hero receives damage greater than 30% of max HP, recovers HP by 40% of the damage received. I don't think that matters too much, but sure. When the hero receives a buff, increases all allies attack by 15%. If this was attack related stats, this would have been really good, but since it's just base attack, it's okay. But if it was attack related stats, oh my god, it would be icing on the cake. She would be insane. Like, she would be really good for you know, just support and DPS. Like, she would be crazy. And in Rugal, whenever he receives damage, increases the hero's pierce rate by 10% up to 50%. So Rugal out of them all probably has the best, because Rugal, you guys know, he is a problem if you don't kill him, because he increases all his stats by 15%, recovers health, removes debuffs when he falls below 50%. So he is a beast. Rugal, I feel like, is going to make a comeback. I do feel like Rugal is going to make a comeback, so that is good. So the winner for the holy relics is definitely Rugal. But yeah, that's it. That's it for this you know, this video, for the update. It'll be live in a few hours from when I put this video up. I'm gonna upload it late. You'll probably see it around 10 or something like that. I don't know when, but you'll probably see it late. So hopefully you guys do enjoy the video. If you do, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, and you guys already know I will see you all next time.